So for my first critique about Miss Kim, I think that you did a very good job of showing how Miss Kim becomes a good role model slash mentor and leader to Eunhee, and why her calm, observant nature really matters. You also make a good point that Miss Kim's empathy might come from her own emotional struggles, the way she thinks down about herself, or that stuff. Only suggestion I think that I would have is to be more specific about the scenes a little bit, like they happen, as well as the timestamps, and then be a little more descriptive and I guess overall just strengthen your claims and to be more confident about it. An example of this is when Miss Kim tells Eunhee to not let anyone hit her, describing the moment with more detail and just a little more background information about it, I think would definitely help with your essay. I also think that you could be expand more on the psychoanalysis and what signs that show Miss Kim is holding her own pain and carrying it, I guess. But adding that to your essay, I think would make the argument a lot more detailed and a little more deeper, and I guess just less general knowledge and kind of just descriptive. But overall, I think it's a good start to the essay. It really helps me understand what's going on, and I think it just needs a little more set examples from the film, and just the obviously the timestamps of it, and just maybe just I guess a little deeper psychologically into the characters' minds and the explaining overall. For my critique number 2, it is over the Ji-Suk and Yuri essay. So I think that did a very good job of comparing Ji-Suk and Yuri and explaining how their friendship almost has an effect on Eunhee. Use the timestamps very well, and obviously describing and in your essay showing the flaws and Yuki's fear and the way they betrayed, and Yuri's jealousy and the distance that she showed with the other characters emotionally. The only suggestion that I really have is to possibly explain their motivations a little bit more of what they're wanting to pursue, I guess. So an example of this is, instead of calling Ji-Suk's behavior ratting her out, you could explore more of how abusiveness and the cause of fear in children at home can almost shapes how she reacts to the situation. For Yuri, you could mention cultural pressure, for the reason for her to stay quiet, adding a sentence about why that makes her jealous or hesitant would, I believe, make the essay a little stronger. Just to add those extra details and just to really try to throw out every feeling that the characters have emotionally and as well physically.